to the Echelon building that supposedly Joe Stack flew his plane into. Multiple witnesses said there was no one in the plane. Multiple witnesses said the FBI was already out there on the street, and that was later confirmed. And so there was a drill going on that day of some type. We need to investigate this development with CBS News and this sheriff's deputy who was there part of some type of training. Let's watch this clip and then go to Mike Riviero and get his take on it. Here it is.
County Sheriff Mike Scott was in Times Square the night of the attempted attack. He talked to Wait News today about what happened.
Somebody asked me why I didn't start taking pictures of the car. I was not in tourist mode at that time. I was in cop mode, and you just sort of sense the danger.
Scott says he had just been with the New York City bomb squad for training earlier in the day, but had no idea they'd be called to work this case just hours.
And I guess the clip cuts out early there. We need to find that full clip. I know we were sent that clip by a listener, but we need to try to find the full clip. So the way that appears is that he was there for training with the bomb squad. He said, I was there for training with the bomb squad just a few hours before, and that he was in cop mode as part of that training in Times Square. And then you have the almost instant response of the bomb squad. And that's not saying the bomb squad was in on this. Government intelligence agencies will have other agencies involved in drills so that when the NSA picks up chatter about an attack, it's missed because this fog of the drill, this confusion has been injected. And we know this is the case on 9/11, 7/7, and so many other cases. Separately, and we'll play this clip again coming up in a few minutes, we have Mayor Bloomberg yesterday on the nightly news on CBS News nationally saying that, if he had to bet, he would guess it was some anti-government health care individual that had done this. And we have a whole bunch of left-wing blogs trying to blame the American people. And Kurt Nimmo wrote an article about that. So we know that anytime there's an event or a failed event, the first group they're going to try to blame is the American people. And we have the director of the FBI on record saying the number one focus is now the American people, not even al-Qaeda. So they set up this whole police state in the name of fighting al-Qaeda, and then they're now swinging it around to use it on the American people. Let's go to Mike Riviero and get his take on this situation. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Give us your take on the whole situation unfolding.
Well, you pointed out a very cogent observation there with Michael Bloomberg's comments here, because looking at what I like to call the sideshow that is going on surrounding this event, everybody in politics and the media seems to be viewing every news event, no matter what it is, not as another situation of finding out what the facts and truth are, but as merely another opportunity to propagandize whatever their agenda happens to be. When this fizzled bombing first came out, we had Site Intelligence Group saying they had a video from al-Qaeda claiming responsibility. Then it was being blamed on Muslim anger against South Park for one of their programs because this bomb was supposedly near the offices of Viacom. Then you had Bloomberg saying it was probably somebody that was opposed to health care. Other groups are saying it was probably the Tea Party activists. On and on and on. You see everybody trying to grab onto this news event and spin it to support whatever their particular agenda happens to be. Now we're hearing basically that this perpetrator they've arrested for it apparently lost his home to foreclosure about a month ago. And was basically, it would make sense he was selling his van and going back home to, basically try and get his life back together. So it's kind of interesting. We saw this videotape of the guy taking off his sweater, and he was the white guy that was supposed to be the suspect. And it just seems like we have had this continuous parade of possible suspicions, and I'm not sure where the truth lies right now because the waters are so muddied, but it's just an interesting study in propaganda to see how this incident has been exploited by so many different people to push so many different agendas.
Well, exactly, and it's like a catch-all, this vague, nebulous event, and now no one knows who's behind it, so we'll just blame everyone. But the good guys are the authorities. They're the officials. You just heard that video clip, Mike. What do you make of the sheriff's deputy being interviewed by the news and saying, yeah, we were there working with the bomb squad at Times Square a few hours before, so I was there in cop mode. I don't think you can take anything away from that, but that they were doing a drill. We're putting calls in right now to New York, to the county, to different agencies, and that should be public information. Were they running a drill in Times Square preceding this?
Well, I'd want to be very, very careful about this because listening to the clip just then, it sounded like he was in New York to work with the bomb squad. I didn't get that he said that the training with the bomb squad was in Times Square. It may have been or not. It seems a little vague to me, and I'd like to nail that down before we start, basing conclusions on it. But I think if he's in cop mode and he's suspicious, that's all the more reason to be taking pictures. So that comment about I'm not taking pictures because I'm a cop and I'm suspicious of the guy seems strange. I mean, everybody's cell phone's got a camera, and that struck me as kind of an odd statement.
Yeah, no, I think it's nebulous. We need to get to the bottom of it. I had the guys rush in right at the end of the last hour and said, we've got a CBS clip. They were having a drill. And then once I watched the clip, I realized that it was a bit nebulous. But we need to investigate this because if there was a drill, I mean, it's not like we're trying to blame the government out of the blue here. I mean, they admittedly cooked the bomb, trained the driver in 93 there. Well, we know they're covering up in New York what happened on 9/11. We know they covered up the fact that they blew up Building 7, and now they're admitting, well, we were looking at blowing it up, but we didn't because it just fell on its own for us at free fall speeds. Mike Riviero, stay there. And again, here is Bloomberg yesterday saying that it's probably somebody who's against the health care bill, a nut. So you're a nut. Now 80% of the American people in major polls, you are a car bomber, basically, is what he's saying. Here it is.
Law enforcement officials don't know who left the Nissan Pathfinder behind, but at this point, the mayor believes the suspect acted alone.
If I had to guess 25 cents, this would be exactly that. Somebody who's homegrown, maybe a mentally deranged person or somebody with a political agenda that doesn't like the health care bill or something. It could be anything.
It could be anything. Now, let's go to another clip from A Bug's Life that I played yesterday. I'm going to play this again because this is all about intimidation. This is why the banks want to wreck the economy. This is why in their own memos they engineered it to cause the implosion, because then they're the only ones flush with bailout money. They shut off all the loans. The states, the counties, the cities, the individuals all go bankrupt, and the grasshoppers are in command. Here it is.
There was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant. One ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss, they're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this brain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
How about this?
And he dumps the whole load out on him.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? He's quite the motivational speaker, isn't he?
Okay. Again, Mike Riviero is our guest. Tim in Ohio, thanks for holding her on the air.
Hi, Mike. Alex.
Yes, sir.
Events over this past weekend were the perfect illustration of your new phrase, propaganda placement. You know, I worked in TV news for over 12 years, and November, July, February, and May are sweeps months for ratings used to set the advertising prices. So I was always extremely suspicious of any story that breaks at the beginning of a sweeps month, because all Sunday long, the news channels were just beating the drum about terror attacks, and then on Sunday night, Simpsons was about the city finding plutonium and suspending civil liberties, putting cameras up everywhere. I have a really cryptic clip.
And I have a 6-minute promo video put out.